new who hasn't asked a question yet? All right, Nathan's bringing you the mic.
Maria, you're up. Maria.
My question is for Rhonda. I was wondering if, also the other panel, because of your disability, college is, I hear, sometimes can be difficult to get assistance or help. Did it get easier over the years while completing your careers to find help and find things to adapt to your own needs?
Oh, actually, the opposite happened. When I left home, I realized that I had to educate a lot of people. And my parents provided me full-time interpreting services, my brother too, all the way from K all the way to high school. And when I went to college, that was not the case. We had to unfortunately sue UC Davis because they didn't provide reasonable accommodations for me, interpreting services for me. But from that experience, I learned you have to stand up on your own 2 feet and get an interpreter. So for 3 years, I didn't have interpreter services, and I had to take notes, and I had wonderful friends who would help me take notes and also pay for note taker services. And my mom actually came a couple of 2 classes, and I had some beautiful interpreters with a heart of gold. One is here, and that actually interpreted for free because they knew that they saw a future in me, and they wanted me to make sure that I could get the information that I needed in the classroom. And so they actually went in the classroom and sat with me and told me what they were talking about. And so it's because of the human experience. It's a human experience, and they saw something in me that was special and say that this is wrong. And so for 3 years, I had no interpreter. And I had wonderful friends. And I learned a lot about resiliency. And I learned how to read a lot. After my 4th year of course, when I started, I got interpreters back, and I was a straight A student. Surprise, surprise. And because it had to be with the interpreter services. And I did need help, and I'm okay with asking for help. And there is some experience that you have to go through. You just do, and yes, it defines you as a person and how you deal with it. But yes, it was not easy. It's actually the opposite. When I went into graduate school here, okay, yes, this I'm not going to censor it. It's, you know, I went to the psychologist program here, and I had to teach that deaf people could do assessments and how to use an interpreter within an assessment in counseling, and not just with deaf children, but with hearing children also. And that was a challenge in its own right. Another thing, that was a learning experience for me too, again, because I had to become more confident, because I had to show that I could do this. I have a strong family. We all have really strong families on this panel. And the core, and they're the core of how people with disability can be very successful, is a strong family support. And to get through that experience in graduate school, it was, yeah, I had to teach them that I could do this. And then when I got a job, that was another learning experience. For 3 years, for the first 3 years, again, more interpreters and other interpreters. They both interpreted for free for me for a while because they knew at some point that the district would understand that I needed a full-time interpreter. They refused to provide interpreters for me. My husband and I actually had to pay for the interpreter services. And so that was another learning experience that I had to go through, because unfortunately the world is not ready for us, but we have to teach them that we are ready for them. And we just have to tell them, move over, because we can do this. So that has to come with the teaching moments and a lot of patience. Yes, patience, and more patience. And just always remind yourself, you have to remember, these people have never worked with us before. They don't have the experience with us before. They have no idea what to do with us. So they're feeling incompetent in their own way. And their way of feeling incompetent can tend to be misdirected. So just keep that in mind, and you have to teach them. Don't get bitter. Just say, okay, how can I help this person really get it? And of course, I won't tell you, there's going to be times that I've gone into my room and I have cried. And ran 6 miles just because I was so angry. And, yelled at my husband because something went wrong. That's very human. It's a human experience. But don't become bitter, because it's not really about you guys. It's about them. And yes, it's our responsibility to teach them how to be more avenues. We set up the avenues to make it easier for them. And the experience is, don't limit yourself to as a disabled person. There's no reason for that. Work with, non-able-bodied, able-bodied. Go out and work with everyone. And there are a lot of accommodating people out there. I've worked with some deaf people that I can't say all are accommodating, but again, it's the human experience. It's a human experience to work with other people, to have them get you and not become bitter. It's a beautiful experience, actually. And so that's how I choose to live my life.
Yeah, like with me, I was fortunate that just like how I had my family at my side to help guide me, like not just to live my own, but also at school. My counselor from my former junior college over at Sac City, when I came out here to finish up my general education, she was a big help. She helped me get through a lot of tough times. In fact, there was even some times I remember, like when it came to the year 2008, the year before I would transfer to UC Davis, like when I was trying to get so many classes in. I'll never forget the spring semester of that year. I actually did fall into a little bit of a like where I was having a little bit of a breakdown, and I went to her office, and she was kind enough to see me for a few minutes. I admit I did have a few tears, but that just like Rhonda said, it's a learning experience, and to this day, and I still am in touch with her, and my family is really grateful to her for all that she did to help me get me through it. And she was really surprised that the very last semester, fall 2008, like I took 6 classes. 6 classes. I don't remember how many units that was, but I knew. I was saying to myself, okay, Jeff, this is your last chance. You got to do good this semester, so you can get into UC Davis this coming year. And then what happens? I looked like I wasn't going to do well in my science class, but thank goodness it was a class for those who were not majoring in science. I thought I was going to have to come back. And then get this, when I got my grades, I felt like a cartoon character. I felt like I just wanted to be like, pin my arms to my side and just faint. I was like, oh my God, I got a B! Oh my God, I passed all my classes. I even passed the math class. You get me? I got all my classes. But just like we had to prove to some people out there like who we really are, I proved to my counselor that my learning disorder did not stop me from reaching my goal. And then the following year, I got into UC Davis. I showed the paperwork to my counselor and also the Learning Disability Center, and they gave me the same thing like I got in high school and junior college. Additional time on homework and tests. I got through it. I had my moments. I had my tears. But what got me through it was the fact that I had a lot of help along the way. And even though I haven't seen my counselor from UC Davis since I graduated, I'm still in touch with her, and I'm really, it's just. I was really grateful to her as well, and even like when there were times I couldn't understand some things, I even asked her if she would get in touch with my mother, and she did. And so that way I was able to understand things thoroughly. Because, and like I said before, life is a learning experience. There's still many things I had to learn. I mean, I was still in my early 20s, and at that time, like when I was really struggling, it was because a friend of mine joined the service, and that kind of took a toll on my emotions for that year. But what really got me through it was that she knew, that my counselor knew what was best for me. She even recommended the therapy group on UC Davis, and not technically therapy, but I got to speak to a therapist on the campus, like whenever I felt like I was really down for the day. I think just the fact that I had so many people on my side, it just got me through my experience. And even though I wish I could do some things over, I have to realize, I can't live life in regret. The fact that I got through it, I got my bachelor's, and now, 3 years later, I finally decided what I want to do, which is get my master's in English. I'm on my way, and I know I'm going to continue to have more and more help. I mean, heck, this last fall, I didn't get any classes for this spring, but the last fall, I actually got a few classes here at Sac State where I could improve my GPA. At first, I wasn't enrolled. But thanks to the counselor, I stayed for 2 weeks. I got those classes, and I got an A and a B, and then hopefully this upcoming semester will be the last ones, and I'll be on my way. And I owe it all to everybody who helped me. And you know what? If you guys need help, speak to counselors, speak to therapists, and most of all, speak to your family, because you know what? Like I said before, if I can do it, then so can you. And I say this in my children's books. Anything is possible as long as you believe.
We have time for one more question. Is there one more question out there that, before Mel asks a question, is there anybody who hasn't asked a question yet? All right, Mel has the final question.
This was for the person that was just speaking, of his mother. Yeah, him. I wonder what was it like for your first time in Disney World, and how did you what dreams did you imagine that would come true when you were there?
Well, that trip was a very unique experience because I've been going to Disneyland my whole life. I mean, in fact, I was at the 60th anniversary a couple weeks ago. What got me to drive into that was the fact is that a coworker of mine was always saying to me, Jeffrey, you go to Disneyland so much, you got to try to go to Disney World someday. So in 2013, I decided to look at hoteling. Of course, I didn't look at a Disney World one because those are expensive, but I did look at the good neighbor hotels, and that I realized, oh my gosh, if I do this in advance, I can afford this. And then I went from there, and it all worked out. And by golly, when I went to Disney World, it was like a dream come true because I got to, I got to see so many things I only was seeing in my mind or on YouTube, and it was just like I finally got to do one of my bucket lists. I finally got to cross Disney World off my bucket list because I finally got to see it. I got to see so much. I even got to be part of the special backlog, whatever, I forgot the name of it, but the attraction where they pull 3 people and you actually get drenched in water at Disney Hollywood Studios. And, I mean, is that pretty much, question, did I miss anything? No? Okay, well let me just add one last thing. And the fact that, I was able to do that and cross it off my list, that's what I've been doing ever since, Sure, I want to go to Tokyo Disneyland and Hong Kong Disneyland and even Disneyland Paris, but I want to wait till the day comes, like when maybe I'm married or something, because I would like to go with somebody, whether family or friends, to those places. But in the meantime, I will say one last thing, and I want to add this on for about traveling. Earlier this year, I got to go to Cincinnati, Ohio, and at the Cincinnati Zoo, I got to go into an interaction program where I got to meet Harapan. And Harapan, he is not a human. He is a Sumatran rhinoceros, and the rarest rhino in the world. I got to meet him and feed him. He nearly even ate my hand. Don't worry, he didn't hurt me. Rhinos are herbivores, but the fact, we gotta, just like we all need to fly sometimes, you know what? Even try to travel, because you know what? If you don't get the experience, who knows? Maybe someday there might come a time in your life when you may not be able to. Just like when I went to Disney World, I decided, you know what? Since I don't have any children yet, and I say that because I'm not married, but I wanted to experience that on my own, see what it's like. That way I can know what to do next time, when I'm with someone. So, you know what? I don't know what it's like with you money-wise, but maybe look it up. See what it takes to save for Disney World, because it took me about a year to finally have it all together, and it was the greatest experience of my life.
Can we have the group 3 thank you folks come up?